I'm Coach Steve of Flat Earth Fitness, and today we're going to be going over two different types of steaks. The cheapest steak I could find and the most expensive I could find. One of these steaks would be about $9 US, whereas one of these steaks would be about $250 US. We're going to prepare them. So this one is already seasoned. You just take it out, put it on the grill. Good. Even if it wasn't seasoned, though, all you're doing is putting salt and pepper, maybe garlic on it. You don't need to do much. The cheaper cuts like this, you do have to spend time preparing it. There's a lot of ways to make this steak taste just as good as this one. So let's learn, and then it's up to you. How valuable is your time? Do you have a high-paying job and you'd rather spend your time with your family and kids after work? Or do you have a wife at home, has the free time to maybe spend time preparing this so that you as a family can have more money for vacations and that type of stuff? So it's all a balancing act. Both of these can end up tasting just as good. And what is the process involved with turning a cheap quality cut? Now, I say cheap quality cut because it's the cut that is cheap quality. It's not the beef itself. The beef itself is the grass-fed, free-range, no hormones, no antibiotics. This is Belize here. So make sure you source your beef from the best possible sources, but choose the cheapest cut. That's the trick. But as you can see, the meat itself is absolutely beautiful. There's even a little bit of marbling and fat in there. They call this one the star steak because of that bone. So now what we do is we cut out the bone. This is actually really good for those of you who have pets. My dogs love this. It's like getting a treat from the pet store, you know? And just cut, be careful. I've done this hundreds of times now with this specific steak, so I kind of know how to do it. But they call it the star steak because it's a kind of like a weird bone. You kind of see like what you're left with. Okay. So then we're left with the bone, and this is the meat that we get from that. So again, though, this is still 10 Belize dollars for all this beautiful meat here. So what we now want to do is just kind of make it a little bit straight. So cut there, cut along here so that we have another piece like that. Right there, cut that. And again, this is why you sharpen your knife. You want to work with a clean blade so that you can just gently cut. You never want to be struggling with the knife or it becomes a safety issue because you can slip and cut yourself. You want gentle, nice cuts. See how it just eats the meat? Remember, this is the cheapest possible beef, steak, whatever you want to call it. It's steak. You know, this is steak. And yeah, we're good right now for that. So this is what we ended up with. For 10 Belize dollars, which is $5 US, we have all this meat here. Now, the first part, though, of preparing a lower quality cut. And what we're doing now is going to put baking soda on it. So I'll go from this view so you can see. Yeah, that's about all we need. And then mix it up. You want it to eat in all this and soak up. This is going to be good. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes, and if there's any extra water, you can pour it out. In this case, it looks perfect. What we're going to do now is the soy sauce. And remember that there's salt in here, so you don't need to add any to your meat. Let's get some white pepper. some garlic. And at this point, I'm going to use tongs to mix it up since it's very spicy now, or powdery, I guess is the term. That is so nice. This is looking pretty good. So now that it's all seasoned, the only other thing left to do now is to cut it into the thin little strips. This is going to be similar to the Chinese beef that you'd used to. So cut it however you want, but you don't have to. This is just how I prefer to prepare it. Remember these strips that we started with? Just going to cut them across. So I'll show you how we do it. It's very nice and easy, especially if your knife is nice and sharp. Just
lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come.
Yeah, so you see all that meat for 10 Belize dollars with a little bit of baking soda, soy sauce, white pepper, and garlic. And as you can see, there's only a little bit of liquid left and is actually going to get soaked up once I put the stuff back in. So this is actually quite a lot of meat. Let me just show you. So all of this costed me $5 US. $5 US, 10 Belize dollars for all of this. Now that's 2 meals. You can feed 2 people with all this meat. Arguably, if you had a family of 4 and you're doing like a taco night, you can. This will serve like a whole family. There's a lot of meat here. We started with 2 pounds, 2.5 pounds, and we took up the bones. And even then, I left meat on. You see, like I left meat on because I have my dogs, and this is like a treat for them to be able to have all the nice bone of the star steak. I want to cut this out. I have 3 dogs, but we did 2 steaks. Perfect. No, this will be wonderful for them. So then we're going to put this back in here because there's still a little bit of sauce to soak in. And now that all it's been cut, we want those new exposed sides to start soaking up the flavor and getting ready. And remember, this is beef, not chicken. So it's safe to handle raw. You can let it sit down for a little bit. Remember that people age steak. You can age steak for days. It's not like chicken. So it's safe to do what we're doing. We're preparing this. Oh, nice. So yeah, this is what we're going to then just fry in your frying pan. You can cook this however you want. If you have an air fryer as well, you can cook it in that.
That's great. I would have donated a bottle of malt.
So I ended up with enough steak to make 6 burritos. There's still some on the pan here. Yes, that's pretty good. So for 10 Belize dollars, 5 US, we ended up with a lot of really nice premium quality steak. So a cheap cut can turn into a nice quality steak. That seems to be the really only difference. The expensive cuts you can eat just as they are. But it's all from the same cow. So this is all grass-fed. So you're looking at grass-fed beef with no hormones and no steroids or antibiotics.
We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name. Grasping into life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start.